first got our hands on the Terra back in 2019 and I was a bit overdressed. Good. Back then, it squeezed itself into a very competitive mid-size SUV segment, and we loved it for its comfortable ride and unique features which made it stand out from the rest. But a lot has happened since then, including a year that just shouldn't be named, and its rivals have actually gone through some upgrades as well, namely the Fortuner and the Montero. And if you're interested in checking out those cars, we've got a video right here. But the question here today, is the 2021 Terra VL 4x4 still good as gold? Let's find out. AutoDeal.com.ph can connect you to get the best quote from multiple dealerships near you. You can request and compare quotes from any dealership in the Philippines. Get the best deal with AutoDeal. One of the highlights of the Terra really is driving it. Now, while its rivals will have you bouncing around like a kangaroo on its fourth cup of coffee, the Terra goes through somewhat rough and unpaved roads with a bit more grace, really, to be honest. Aside from the ride itself being compliant, it's further made comfortable thanks to Nissan's zero-gravity seats, offering ample support for longer drives and great adjustability. Another point of comfort inside the Terra, and it's no small thing, mind you, is the air conditioning system. It is absolutely cold. It's not cool, it's cold in here. It's the middle of summer and we're shooting. There is no tint on this automobile, and it's a pretty large cabin, as you can tell. But because this is a Nissan, the air conditioning system is top notch. Regardless of how many people you may have inside the car, you will feel comfortable thanks to the air conditioning system. And if that bores you, well, then there's always the map that will talk to you, like it's talking to me right now. Shh, quiet, we're shooting. But where its suspension deviates from the rest, it's the steering where it follows suit. Apart from the Ford Everest's featherweight steering, the weight of the wheel in the Terra is about par with everyone else, and for some that may have little to no experience with PPVs, it will take some getting used to. As for tech and safety included inside the Terra, the list is distinguished, which includes Nissan's intelligent mobility. Isolation in the cabin, I would say, is just about par. Nothing spectacular, and I'll say that because when you're below 100 kilometers per hour, tire and wind noise, not a problem. It's when you hit 100, obviously the speed limit, that's when it starts to really creep in. The engine, when you step on the accelerator at lower speeds, you can hear the hum. At higher speeds, not so much. So it's really a toss-up. In general, it's still a very comfortable cabin because of all the features that come with the automobile. So fatigue because of these sounds? No, you will not be. Fatigue because of the driving position? No, you won't be either too. It's just, it'll take some getting used to with the amount of sound that's going to come in. And if that's bothersome, just drown it out with the speaker systems in here, which is actually pretty good. This top-of-the-line Terra is powered by a 2.5-liter diesel inline-4 that produces 187 horses and 450 Nm of torque, mated to a 7-speed automatic transmission. This combination is plenty capable for most of your needs and gets up to speed relatively smoothly. The changes between gears are almost seamless as long as you're not going pedal to the metal. Because when you're flooring it, the engine tends to linger around the red line before shifting up. Now in the city, when traffic isn't dreadful, you're doing about 10 kilometers per liter. On the highway, between 90 and 100 kilometers per hour, you can get about 15 kilometers per liter. Considering the size of the automobile, I can live with those numbers. Now, one of the most noticeable changes in this refresh is the blacked out everything. Well, okay, not really. The grille, wheels, and some trim are tastefully finished in gloss black. The only thing that isn't is the trim on the rear with the nameplate. I like this look on the Terra. It's much more understated compared to the "hey, look at me" chrome, and it complements the sharp overall aesthetic of the SUV. You have LED headlamps, fog lamps, and tail lamps. You also get repeaters on the side mirrors. There's also roof rails, a rear spoiler, and step boards in between the two blacked out 18s. And behind them are discs up front and drums at the back. That makes for a ground clearance of 225 millimeters. Sadly, the tailgate of the Terra is not powered, but if it's any consolation, when you open her up, it makes the sound of a TIE fighter. That's pretty cool, right? Come on, that's pretty cool. And the rear seats, they look like battle droids. With the third row up, you'll have enough space for something like a golf bag, and it can split 50-50 if you need to carry more cargo and a fifth passenger. The second row folds up so much easier than its rivals with only a push of a button, making ingress and egress for the third row passengers a breeze. And with all the rear seats tucked away, there's more than enough space here for even a small fridge or a chest freezer. Man, I could use some ice cream right now. If I'm being completely honest, not much has changed in here at all. You still get leather upholstery as far as you can stretch and a very comfortable cabin thanks to what Nissan calls zero-gravity seats. Then there's the 11-inch display in the back for your in-flight entertainment, vents for the second and third row, among other things. What has changed, and it's a dramatic change, is that your around view monitor and your rear view camera used to be on your rear view mirror. Not anymore. Now it's in the center console. To be honest with you, it should have been there in the first place anyway. The around view monitor is great for navigating tight parking spaces and getting yourself out of even the hairiest of situations, like when you're literally caught between a rock and a hard place when off-roading. I mean, it's darn good. It won't get you away from death and taxes, but hey, it's still pretty darn good. The one thing I wish that they did change was this quite rudimentary dash. I mean, this is the top of the line variant, and unfortunately, it's not so nice to look at. It's not so nice to hold either. But if you break it, consider it sold. Oh man, that sucked. Can we cut that? That was badooey. All I'm saying is that it could use some sprucing up. I mean, I know that this is not an entirely new car. It's just a refresh. But it's just that the cabin is so nice to be in already. I just wish that it would match is what I'm saying. Gunning it off-road with the Terra is much less dramatic than if you would do so with its rivals. And I don't mean it's not fun to drive. No. It's got plenty of power to play with in that 2.5-liter turbo diesel and lots of off-roading assist for peace of mind. But I mean, it's less dramatic because you aren't being thrown around left and right like the ball in the hands of the San Antonio Spurs. The coil springs make an almost night and day difference compared to other PPVs. I said almost night and day, but it's really just a really big difference. It's no rolls in here, don't get me wrong. It's just when the tough gets going, the Terra can handle it. The ground clearance of the Terra not only gives you confidence when you're entering and exiting parking structures inside the city, but it also gives you confidence when you're on provincial roads where the pavement just seems to end. And the weighted steering may not be ideal to a lot of people inside the city, but off the beaten path, man, it gives you a sense of security and control, even when things get hairy. Hairy? Oh man, I need a haircut. At 2,211,000 Philippine pesos, what the Terra has over the competition is, well, a comfortable cabin, thanks to zero-gravity seats. You can easily flip the second row, thanks to switches found up front. A child could do it. The air conditioning is friggin' cold. It's like the top of Mount Fuji. Now, altogether, the package really is, well, I'll tell you what it's not. It's definitely not fool's gold. Hey, Jack. We did a compare with the pickup trucks. Why don't we do one with these guys?